So Grace, this is a model of our right knee. So we've got our thigh bone and our two shin bones. Now the knee is a hinge joint, okay, so it only moves in one direction. It's held together by 4 ligaments, 1, 2, 3, 4. They connect bone to bone. In between the bones, you've got the meniscus, okay, that basically acts like a shock absorber. What we've found from our tests is that you've got an irritation or tear of that meniscus, because I was feeling around the joint line and it made you jump. Now, depending on where that irritation is will greatly impact how quickly it will get better. If your irritation is on the outer third of the meniscus, there's a really good blood supply. So they do tend to settle down quite well just on their own, but they flare up just as easily. So your progress seems to be a bit more like this, okay? If your irritation is on the inner 2/3 of the meniscus, there's a really poor blood supply. So your symptoms tend to be more of a constant nagging pain, and that can take months for that to come good. What we know from the research is when you have any episode of knee pain, you lose activation of this muscle up through here. Okay, it's called the vastus medialis obliquus, or VMO muscle. Now the problem is that if this guy is not doing its job, it means this one, and this one has to do more work. Can you see how they all come in and attach onto your kneecap? Okay, so if this guy is not doing its job, and this one's getting tight, what that's going to do is drag your kneecap across, and it no longer tracks in its groove. Okay, and you start to develop some pain on the undersurface of your kneecap. What we need to do here in physio to help you with this one, in theory, is very simple. We need to strengthen this muscle, we need to loosen that muscle, we need to stabilize up at your hip, and we need to correct what's happening at your feet, okay? If you don't have good stability in your hips, every time you take a step, the hip drops out and it's just gonna muck up the whole mechanics of your knee. Okay, same goes from the other end. If your feet roll in, like most people's do, that's gonna have an effect on the knee also. So if you're like Grace and currently suffering from knee pain, take advantage of Back in Motion's free initial assessment by finding your nearest Back in Motion practice online.
So if you want to book in for a free initial assessment at Back in Motion Rowville, click the QR code or the link in the description below.